heart of Tsavo East, Kenya, a gentle sun suffuses the parched earth, casting a golden hue on the sun-bleached savanna. In this vast, dry landscape, a young elephant calf named Roho takes his first trembling steps, cradled in the warmth of his mother Nyala's presence. The air buzzes with the heat of a delayed rainy season, and the earth cracks beneath the weight of longing for life-giving water. As Roho nestles between his mother's sturdy legs, the older siblings guide him with their trunks, weaving an unspoken bond of trust and protection. Every touch between Nyala and Roho echoes with a quiet affection, a language deep as the soil, rhythmic rumbles that stir the air like whispers of the wind. Yet beneath this tender tableau lies an undercurrent of silent tension, each step echoing with muted anxiety. The world feels vast and hot, and every rustle in the grass seems to hold a secret, a reminder of the fragility of this moment. A scarce resource, both water and peace, dwindling under the relentless sun. Today's journey begins as hope and danger draw ever closer under the unforgiving sky. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the Tsavo East sky in hues of orange and purple, but the air remained heavy with tension. As night cloaked the land, distant gunshots shattered the stillness, a cruel reminder of lurking danger. Nyala sensed the menace and led her family deeper into the heart of remote bushland, where the scent of moisture lay tantalizingly close, though still elusive. Roho, now bolder, flitted between the towering baobab trees, instinctively following the scent trails left by other creatures. His heart raced in tune with his mother's anxiety. She moved with grave purpose, her maternal intuition guiding their path. The elephants formed a tight cluster, trunks intertwined, seeking solace in each other against the unseen threat. Fear rippled through Nyala, and though Roho felt the tremors of her unease, he did not fully understand. The vastness of their world mirrored the depths of his growing curiosity, yet shadows danced in the grass, whispering warnings. The night pressed in, and even the winds paused, attuned to the harsh reality that life was precarious, fragile as the fading light, with every rustle a reminder of danger lurking nearby. As dawn's light broke through the canopy, a tense stillness blanketed the forest. Roho, feeling a shift in the air, sensed something was off. Nyala paced restlessly, her ears twitching. The distant echoes of gunfire shattered the morning calm like fragile glass, as terrified birds took flight. In an explosion of instinct, Nyala surged forward, ushering her family deeper into the thicket. Roho followed, confusion etched on his young face. He felt the tremors in his mother's movements, the urgency of her calls echoing instinctively within him. Then came the chaos. A sudden crash of branches, a whirlwind of gray and dust as poachers burst through the underbrush, guns blazing. Roho froze, heart hammering, as he watched Nyala charge bravely at danger. A shot rang out. For an eternal moment, silence draped over him, thick and suffocating. Nyala collapsed, her strength fading beneath the weight of her love. Roho's world narrowed, each breath a desperate plea as he approached her still body. Fear spiraled through him, loneliness consuming him like the fading scent of his mother on the breeze. All around, vulture shadows loomed, specters of loss hanging like a dark shroud over the once vibrant savanna. A restless wind whispered through the acacias, carrying with it the scent of parched earth. Roho, disoriented and fragile from days of solitude, stumbled beneath the trees, his small body yearning for life-giving nourishment. His every movement sent ripples of exhaustion through his young frame, and each crackle of dry leaves beneath his feet felt like a haunting echo of his lost herd. Suddenly, a gentle touch brushed against his flank. Startled, Roho thrashed weakly, the wary instinct of a child abandoned. But warm hands, cautious and kind, continued their work. A ranger whispered softly, grounding him in the chaos of newfound presence. Darkness had danced around him, but now light pierced through, glowing with the promise of safety. A call for help answered. As the rangers sedated him, Roho's weary eyes fluttered closed, surrendering to the emotional weight of hope amidst despair. Moments felt like eternity, the ache of survival colliding with the balm of compassion. With careful precision, they lifted Roho into the sky, carrying him away from the fractured remnants of his past toward the embrace of a nursery, where he would learn to trust again, and perhaps, one day, find his way back home. Roho opened his eyes to a warm, straw-filled enclosure, disoriented, yet comforted by the soft whispers of his surroundings. The air, thick with the scent of fresh hay, felt like a gentle embrace after the stark loneliness of the savanna. As he took a cautious step forward, his small frame trembled, but a gentle warmth brushed against him, a trunk draping over his side. Kandiri, an older orphan, stood beside him, a reassuring presence thinly cloaked in the innocence of their shared loss. The gentle rhythm of their breaths created a quiet song, a balm against the scars of their past. As the days unfolded, Roho learned the art of drinking milk from a bottle, his awkwardness gradually evolving into a confident thirst. During storms, Amina, the caretaker, would sing softly, her voice weaving through the droplets like a melody of hope. Each note settled around them, wrapping Roho in a tender cocoon of safety. Outside, the world hinted at both chaos and beauty, but inside this sanctuary, a flicker of resilience blossomed. In the gentle companionship of these young souls, Roho began to discover the fragile strength of trust. Roho's days at the nursery unfurled gently, yet in the serene quiet, an unforeseen tension simmered. The rain arrived in bursts, drumming on the roof, a soothing lullaby that masked the whispers of the world outside. Roho chased hornbills under a canopy of swaying branches, laughter and his playful nudges with Kandiri. Their bond deepened, a balm against their shared grief. But one evening, a rustle of unfamiliar scents broken through the softened air. A low growl echoed from beyond the familiar fences, heavy and menacing, freezing Roho in his tracks. His ears swiveled, instinct screaming as Amina's voice faltered, alarm mounted in her. Kandiri remained close but sensed the shift. Roho lowered his body, breathing slow and shallow. Shadows danced at the edges of the sanctuary, alive with muffled sounds that felt foreign and sharp. The rain didn't wash this away. The primal instinct of survival rose in his chest. As darkness swallowed the light, Roho's gentle calls for his mother transformed into fierce rumbles, filled with both longing and fear. In that moment, the sanctuary became a fragile fortress, where comfort and danger intertwined, reminding him that peace in nature is often fleeting. Roho stood at the threshold of the Ithumba reintegration unit, the open gate a yawning mouth between his past and the wild world he longed to rejoin. Kandiri nudged him forward, a gentle encouragement beneath the watchful gaze of Zuru, a wild female with entrancing, wise eyes. She approached, her trunk brushing against Roho's forehead, a gesture imbued with instinct and acceptance. The breeze stirred, carrying whispers of the savanna, and Roho hesitated, heart pounding. Could he return to the world of freedom he had craved, yet feared? A pulse of instinct surged within him, guiding his heavy limbs across the threshold. As he stepped into the open, the wind danced around him, filled with ancient songs of elephants past. The vast expanse opened before him like a long-lost home. With Kandiri by his side, Roho took a deep breath, feeling the heartbeat of the wild. Then, with a sudden clarity, he moved, trunks swaying in a rhythm only they understood. Behind them, Elias watched from the shadows, breath held, witnessing the moment of fate's call. The gate swung back, and they stepped forward into the unknown, ready to embrace the wild once more. The storm had passed, leaving a damp silence in its wake. Roho lay beside the dry riverbed, his body trembling with residual pain. The world was painted in shades of gray as rain-pocked earth glistened under the weary dawn. He strained to rise, legs buckling beneath him, instinct urging him to call out, yet only shallow breaths escaped his weary frame. The forest loomed around him, still and brooding, the fragrance of wet soil mixing with fear. He caught the distant rustle of hyenas, their laughter thin and mocking in the humid air. With a growl, Roho leaned against a gnarled tree, trying to summon the strength to fend off the encroaching shadows. But each moment felt heavier than the last. Somewhere, beyond the trees, the pressure of his absence pulsed. Family, safety, the rhythm of the herd he longed to rejoin. As twilight dimmed to an inky darkness, the spell of solitude thickened. But as the stars began to flicker, a faint echo of hope stirred. A gentle vibration pulsed in the depths of the night, an unseen bond, aching to bridge the distance from heart to heart, from the wilderness to the refuge of home. As dawn painted the sky in soft hues, Roho's eyelids fluttered open, revealing the familiar faces of his caregivers. Amina knelt beside him, her voice a soothing balm as the morning light filtered through the trees, casting gold across the damp earth. Despite the weight of fatigue in his limbs, a flicker of determination sparked within him. Nearby, the approaching sound of familiar rumbles broke through his haze, Kandiri's calls, filled with warmth and acceptance. Drawing strength from that bond, Roho summoned the will to rise. Each careful movement echoed the resilience etched into his very being. His legs trembled, yet he pushed against the soil. As he stood, the forest around him seemed to awaken, filled with whispers of encouragement from unseen spirits. Roho lifted his trunk, inhaling the rich sense of life returning, a promise of renewal. Wobbling but steadfast, he stepped forward. Beyond the shadows, the sun rose higher, illuminating not just the landscape, but also the path ahead. Hope surged within him, a pillar of strength rebuilt in the heart of the wild. Together with Kandiri, they would navigate this journey back to home, forging a new rhythm in the symphony of the Savanna. Beneath a sun-drenched sky, Roho found his rhythm within Zuru's family, surrounded by the sounds and scents of the wild. The vast mud pool became a canvas for joy, where splashes of cool earth soaked into his skin, invigorating his spirit. Roho played freely, nudging Zuru with newfound confidence, their laughter mingling in the air, echoing through the savannah like a symphony of resilience. Kandiri, ever close, darted past in pursuit of a fleeing warthog, a dance of youthful exuberance that filled the atmosphere with life. Nearby, Amina observed from the observation deck, her heart swelling with bittersweet joy. Tears glistened on her cheeks as she witnessed Roho reclaiming his essence in the embrace of nature. With every splash, Roho felt the lines of his past dissolve, his losses transformed into strength. He was no longer the lost calf he had once been, but a thriving elephant, a part of a greater harmony. As sunlight danced across the tranquil expanse, a shared celebration unfolded, a wordless acknowledgement of survival, trust, and a newfound present where nature's power restored what once felt lost. In that moment, the wild felt like home again. As the sun bowed low on the horizon, casting long shadows across the golden savanna, Roho stood at the edge of a familiar waterhole, his silhouette framed by the soft glow of dusk. The dry season had returned, yet memories of past wanderings illuminated his heart. With newfound tusks gleaming beneath the waning light, he felt the pulse of leadership flowing through him. Rumbling softly, he called to a gathering of young bulls, curious eyes meeting his as they stepped closer, their trust blossoming like wildflowers in the parched earth. Birds took flight, startled by their unity, drawing the attention of a distant Sheldrick Trust jeep. Elias paused, recording the moment, a whisper escaping his lips. Roho, leader now. The water shimmered, reflecting the kaleidoscope of colors overhead, as laughter and splashes broke through the solemn air. In that golden glow, the weight of loss faded, replaced by a sense of belonging woven through every heartbeat. As stars began to unveil themselves, Roho stood, rooted by the water's edge, surrounded by the spirit of family, past and present intertwined. In this timeless moment, nature endured, a silent testament to survival, hope, and the unyielding journey home. Thank you for spending this moment with us. If kindness moves you, and the wild speaks to your heart, subscribe to Kind to Creatures and join our growing circle of compassion.